All right, welcome to September's Ambassador Table event. This is a unusual time that we usually do. This is on a Friday, so most people are traveling and so on and so forth. But we're gonna do it anyway, have it recorded and send it out. So I appreciate you being here, Giselle, all the way from Florida. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, there's a
Yeah.
hurricane happening behind me. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So how far is it from you?
It's
Category 4, right?
a
3 or 4.
category 4. It's a category 4, and it went up. It was supposed to hit Tampa, but we're getting storm surge. But right now it's pretty clear. But the
Okay.
kids' schools, like they got canceled 2 days. So yesterday the
Yeah.
baby's been home with me, and today as well.
Uh-huh.
Um, and there's been flood,
Yeah.
but it's not really like in downtown Naples. You can
Yeah.
see flood. It's like the normal, Florida
So,
weather.
so hey, this is perfect timing. I caught you in the eye of the storm. So,
Yeah.
uh, so let's make this happen as we go along. So this is called Mastering Objections Part 1.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen. And now that I have an iPad, uh, oh, we got some added technology to,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So this will be done. I'm going to share the screen here. And then you're going to see
Like a
a
mic.
whiteboard from the iPad. All right. So very good. All right. So when it comes to mastering objections, you're going to get objections in the first place, right?
Right.
Now, there are ways to reduce those objections, right, or even prevent them, and that's from first of all, you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself in the right manner, which we talked about a few months ago with the power positioning worksheet. Because and once you have that done and you have clarity with your client, then when they engage with you, you're going to have less roadblocks,
Okay.
right? But in the case that you do have some roadblocks as we come along, we want to make sure that we're covering those areas also. Okay.
Okay.
So first of all, you want to make sure that you are actually, positioning yourself really as a doctor, right? You are assessing their needs. You're finding out what the actual problem is, right? And then what you're going to make a prescription at the end of the day on what you're going to do to solve their issue, right? So
Right.
think of you yourself going to the doctor's office, you're letting the doctor know what the issue is, and then they prescribe you. That's really what happens in sales as well,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Now, some objections, may come up. And so we want to make sure that we're understanding human psychology as well. Once you understand human psychology paired with business and sales, you can really be unstoppable at the end of the day.
Okay.
Okay. So there is this concept called neuro. Oh, why is this? Let me make sure this is in black. Neuro-linguistic programming. Forgive my I didn't really grade high when it comes to legible, handwriting. So
It goes on with the doctor's handwriting, so it's okay.
yes,
I
yes,
say the same thing. I should have been a doctor. My handwriting is like a
uh,
doctor.
absolutely. As long as it makes sense to me, that's all that matters, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So otherwise known as NLP. Okay, NLP. Now, so you got neuro-linguistic programming, and so basically, I thought I'll write it uglier, but better. So basically, what neuro-linguistic programming is, how it's about mirroring your, who you're talking to, right?
Right.
Okay. So this is about mirroring. So what do I mean by mirroring? That can happen when it comes to body language, your voice tone, and even some words, but you don't want to make it so obvious, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So let's just say you and I are sitting in the same room, right?
Right.
And when you're talking, you have your hands open like this, right? Well, I could kind of, use different words, but then have similar hand gestures, right?
Mhm.
Same with the tone, right? If you're having a normal voice tone, right? And I would mirror you not by talking louder than you, right?
Mhm.
I would mirror you by with the same voice tone.
Right.
Okay. If you were to say, what's important to me, uh, you know, uh, so for example, if you were to tell me what's important to me is that I feel safe in this product. I don't want to take any risks, right?
Right.
All right. So then I could follow up with that by saying, Giselle, so for you to feel safe and not to take any risks, this is the product that you need to go with. You see how I mirrored
Mhm.
your words,
Yeah.
right? By using pretty much the same words you had in the beginning of my sentence, and then I ended it off with a solution, right?
Right.
Those are just very basic examples. So that in its essence is neuro-linguistic programming. Okay. Now, it also has to do with showing empathy and aligning and agreeing with others when they give you an objection. Okay.
Okay.
So let me, oh yeah, I can actually move this along. So that's good. All right. So, so when it comes down to it, you want to show empathy, okay, by aligning and agreeing. Okay. Now, there is, and you can look this up online. All right. There's this concept called pace or pacing and leading. Okay. And that has to do with neuro-linguistic programming. Okay. So pacing is when you are aligning with people, right?
Okay.
So a pace is aligning and agreeing, and a lead is when you're asking a question statement or an opinion. To progress to the next step. So, for example, if someone tells you that your price is too high, you don't want to just right after that say, okay, well, what's the price that you're looking for, right?
Mhm.
And so what happens is there's no rapport that's being built. So your lead is a question, statement, or an opinion that you have in mind that would help you to get to the next level of the sales process, right?
Mhm.
But what you want to do is keep that in mind and align and agree with them first.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, oh, okay, cool. I can shrink this too. All right, very good. So you want to, let me just draw this here. Oh, it's not letting me draw. That's interesting. Oh, my pen. I'm dealing with the technical difficulties here.
Difficulty. Don't worry.
Okay, there we go. All right. I don't even know how to turn on this pen. I gotta ask my kids. All right. So
Sounds like me.
yeah.
They taught me how to
So
use iPad, so don't feel bad. Years
so
ago.
in other words, a pace is to say, uh, I understand, I agree, and I appreciate. Okay. Let me make this bigger. Okay. So a pace is to say, I understand, I agree, I appreciate. A lead is, like I said, a question, statement, or an opinion. Okay. So what's the most common objection that you get?
The most common objection is prices are too high.
Price is too high. All right. Price is too high. So with that matter, so what you have in mind to ask or state or opinion, right?
Mhm.
So what you want to do is know the end from the beginning. Okay. So know end from the beginning. What do I mean by that? Know what you're going to ask already or say already, right? Which is the lead. You just don't verbalize it first. Does that make sense?
Right.
You're going to verbalize the alignment, right? And agreeing first. Okay. So you might say something like, okay, and here's pace one. I understand. Okay. And pace two would be I agree. And pace three would be I appreciate. Now, here's the thing. You could say, I understand, I agree, I appreciate, right? What price do you want to get to? Now, the problem is those are not really complete sentences, right? I mean, they're complete sentences, but it's not a complete thought. So what you want to do is make sure that you understand all of this as, think of it in a monetary aspect, right? So, for example, let's just say a penny pace. Okay. These are penny paces that I just showed you, right? So a
Yeah.
penny pace equals 1 cent. A quarter pace equals 25 cents. Okay. And a lead is actually worth 50 cents. So if you're to say, I understand, agree, and appreciate, right? You want to make sure that you have enough deposits before you take out a withdrawal,
Mm.
right? So, for example, if you deposited $1,000 in your bank account, okay, but you need to take out $1,050, well, then you're going to be $50 negative,
Correct.
right? So you want to make sure that you have enough in your bank account before you take it out. So a lead is worth 50 cents. So penny paces are not going to work. You can't say I understand, agree, and appreciate 50 times before you, you
Yeah.
know, uh, ask a question, right? So you need to make it worth quarter paces. What do I mean by quarter pace? Well, a quarter pace is to take a penny pace, which is worth 1 cent, plus the word because, and add a reason to it. Okay. That's what a quarter pace is. So when you have quarter paces, then you're going to have enough to make that lead, right? So because just like there are financial, just as there are, you have a financial bank account, people have emotional accounts as well. Okay.
Yes.
Justin, Reggie, thanks for joining us. And it is, it is my fault that I had scheduled this for 10:25, and then, I showed a 9:53. So I know people got confused and all that. So my apologies for that. Reggie, I do have this, the first few minutes recorded. So if you would check out the recording, that would be great. Okay. But for a summary, I'm talking about when it's sales in general, you're going to have objections, right? And we're talking about neuro-linguistic programming, where you can look that up online also, but it has to do with mirroring, right? When it comes to body language, voice, and words. And but at the same time, you want to show empathy by aligning and agreeing with people when you get an objection. Okay. So I'm talking about how to address and master objections, by aligning and agreeing with people. Okay. So we're talking about a concept called pacing and leading. And pace is to say things like I understand, I agree, and I appreciate. And then, you have a lead, which is the question, statement, or opinion that you had in mind to say in the first place, right? To get you to the next level. So we're using the objection called price is too high, right? Everybody has that objection sometimes, right? So here's the thing. Before you say things like, well, what kind of price were you looking for to be at? you want to make sure that you're aligning and agreeing with them first, right? With the question in mind. You just don't say it first, you align and agree with them first. So you need to say things like, I understand, I agree, I appreciate before you ask the question. So a penny paste is worth 1 cent. Now, so what we're doing is kind of, attaching monetary aspects to what I'm talking about, right? So a penny paste is worth 1 cent. Okay. But the problem is the lead is worth 50 cents withdrawal. And so we need to make sure that our paces are worth more. So a quarter pace is a penny pace plus the word because and a reason. So how do I put that into perspective? When someone says the price is too high, I would say things like, I understand where you're coming from because, these days, everything is high, right? You go to the grocery store, the gallon of milk is twice as much as it used to be, right? When you're looking for furniture, the same piece of furniture that you looked at a couple of years ago, it's a lot higher. So I totally get where you're coming from here. And I can agree with you a little bit because, prices have gone out high these days. And I appreciate you letting me know that because now that lets me know what's important to you. Tell me, what kind of pricing were you hoping to be at? So that way I have a better idea of how to serve you, right? So what did I just do? Instead of saying, what's the price that you want to be at? I kept that to the side and I aligned and agreed with them first, right? So what you're doing is you're able to build rapport in the midst of them giving you objections. Does that make sense? I'm just using plain English. People are looking for an intelligent conversation. They're not looking to get closed by hammering them. Okay, in these days. So a quarter pace. Let me just write out examples of 3/4 paces, okay? So, ooh, what just happened there? I don't know what happened there. Hold on. Okay, so a quarter pace, okay, is to say, I understand because uh, prices of everything is high these days. It's not. All right, I'm going to start a new document, I guess. First time using iPad stuff. All right, so how do I start a new document here? Oh, here. All right, let's just do that. I said, I understand because prices of everything is high these days. So notice, uh, this is just an example. This is not a script, right? You can use your own language. I agree with you because uh, when I'm looking for things, price is important to me also, right? Does that make sense? And I appreciate you for telling me because that lets me know what's important to you. Am I saying that you have to use these exact words? No, I'm just introducing a concept to you in which you can use the same principles to use your own words, right? I understand because you give them a reason. I agree with you because you give them a reason. I appreciate you, for telling me that because, right? And you give them a reason, right? Now you can say something like, price wise, budget wise, where were you hoping to be? Now, what if the customer said, hey, price is too high, and you just went off by saying, okay, well, price wise, budget wise, where are you hoping to be? See, there's no rapport being built, right? So when people give you objections, remember they're putting up a wall, right? And what you need to do is gradually bring that wall down by actually agreeing with them, right? And aligning with them, showing empathy. What most hardcore closers don't do. People are looking for an intelligent conversation. Price is too high. You know what? I understand where you're coming from. Look, prices are high, everywhere you go these days. And I'm sure you saw that. And you know what? I agree with you. Because when I look for things, price is important to me also. And I really appreciate you letting me know that because now I know what's important to you. Tell me, price wise, budget wise, where were you hoping to be? You see? So you're using the right tone, right body language, and the right words. And when I say the right words, it's your language. I'm not teaching you a script here. I'm teaching you a framework to use when you get objections. Does that make sense? Okay. So, for example, why would y'all hit me with an objection and you'll see me respond right away, right? You don't want to pause right away by showing you how I can get to the next level. Okay, y'all hit me with any objection that you face. Go ahead.
Um, this is not a right investment for me right now.
I understand where you're coming from because there's so many options that are out there, and that gives you the power to choose what the right investment is for you. And you know what? I can see where you're coming from here because you want to make sure what's the best for you and your family. And thank you for letting me know that because I want to make sure that that you're getting the right type of investment portfolio that you're looking for. Tell me, what is it about this particular solution that has you feel that it's not the right investment for you? You see,
I
so
don't, yeah, okay.
but see what I did? Like when you gave me this not the right, it's like a no answer, right? And so what I want to do is still move forward. I want to know why it's not the right investment. All I did was align and agree with you. And here's the thing. You don't have to use the words I understand, I agree, I appreciate every single time. Then they're gonna think that you're having something on them, right? You use plain English, right? Hey, I know this is important to you because, right, you see? And you're right, because I want to make sure. And thank you for letting me know. So I'm using different language, but it all means the same thing. I'm aligning in agreement. Okay. So that's how well versed that you would want to become. when you're getting hit with objections. Okay. And this is just level one. There's, several levels to this. I'm just making an intro here. Okay. The better you become at this, it's all going to flow very well. Okay. Now, there are going to be times where you're not going to need to do 3 paces and a lead. Okay. You don't want to sound that robotic. So let me, and let me show you what I mean. Okay. So I'm going to draw a triangle here. Let me try that again. All right. So now I'm going to have like 4 levels to this. All right. So let's just say you have someone that's giving you objection. They're at the worst level of rapport, right? They just didn't have a great experience everywhere else. They're thinking you're going to be the same, right? So this person is coming to you like this. Okay. They just have this total wall up, right? And they're giving you an objection. Okay. Well, your job is as a professional salesperson is to get them to the next level of the sale. Okay. So in this case, you would have, 3 paces and a lead. Okay. Now you want to make sure that you have, make sure these are worth quarters, right? 25 cents each. That means what? What do I mean by quarter pace? Anybody remember?
Yes, it's like an explain, maybe empathizing with them, or like a higher. It's not just I understand. It's not like the penny ones that are just, it's an explanation to. It's something like higher. It's worth more,
Yeah,
and
it's worth more because you're giving them the pace plus the word because and a reason,
the reason why. Yeah, you're giving
right?
giving them a reason why, um, to their objection, basically.
Well, giving them the reason why you're aligning with them, right? I understand because, and you give them a reason, right? I agree because. So, so here, 25 plus 25 plus 25 equals what?
75,
75 minus 50 for the lead gives you what?
25.
Okay, so you have a balance of 25 cents. You're going to move that to the next level. Make sense? All right. So now you have aligned and agree with them. You know what? This person may be looking something like this now. Okay. A little bit better, but not really where you want it to be at, right? So in this case, since they have a little bit better rapport with you, you probably wouldn't have to give as many paces. Okay. So you have 2 paces and a lead. Okay. So that's you're depositing 25 cents, another 25 cents, minus 50 cents is what? 25 and 25 equals?
You would, since you already had 25 cents, it stays 25 cents, right? Because you're depositing the same that you're taking away in this.
Yeah. Yeah. So these two 25 cents, whoops, hold on. This is worth 50. Minus 50 is 0, but then remember we carried over this 25 cents, right? So that means what? You have another 25 cents left over, right? So now you're going to move that to this level. Now, this same person, okay, is now happy with you. Why? Because you've aligned and agreed with them. You've had an intelligent conversation with this person. Now their wall is down a lot more, right? Do you really necessarily have to do as many paces with this person? You don't, right? So you have 1 pace and a lead. So that's plus 25 minus, 50 cents. That gives you still a negative 25, but we are adding this 25 from before. So now you're even, right?
Hey, Matthew, quick question.
Yep.
On the lead, I guess I missed that earlier. On the lead, what is the punchline for the lead? I know the pace, but yeah, what's that draw in the lead?
So the lead is a question, statement, or an opinion that you want to say that will help them to move to the next level. Okay. So for example, someone says price is too high. The lead that you have in mind would be, okay, well, price-wise, budget-wise, where are you hoping to be? Right? That will get them to the next level. The problem is you can't just say it right then. You have to hold on to it and align and agree with them first.
Got it.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. This guy, align and agree, you lead, and then you move on. Now, this same person now is now ecstatic with you, right? Now they got their eyes wide open, probably some broken teeth, but that's okay. All right, they're really, really excited with you now. And guess what? Now it's just time to ask for the sale. You just go for the lead. You've already built enough rapport. You don't have to worry about all this pacing and stuff like that. They're happy with you. They love you. They want to buy from you. All right, well, go ahead and ask for the sale now. You see? So what you're doing throughout the sales process is you're building rapport to have lasting relationships. Okay, this is rapport building. Now, at any time you say the wrong word or you do the wrong thing, that rapport can come back down, right? To any level. So what you need to do is keep this framework in mind. You keep aligning and agreeing with them, and then you go to the next level. Okay, does that make sense? All right. So let's think of a list of objections. Okay. That y'all get hit with, from your prospects. What would they be? Go ahead. What are some of the objections that you get?
Well, right now it's I can find a discount, like in the real estate space, I can find a discount broker, or a flat fee broker. So, so I can save a ton of money by doing that versus going with your professional services.
Okay. What else?
The investment is too long for me. Too much time to get returns, maybe.
Okay. This is not like writing on paper. It's too slippery, but okay, go ahead.
There's a saturated market of like life coaches, of business coaches, of realtors. You know what I mean? Like everyone is in the game, right? And so yeah, so there's
So far that sounds like a fact. How is that an objection? Like in what context?
objection, meaning like choosing me. So,
okay.
hey, yeah, Reggie, I understand that you're a realtor and also a life coach, but I also know 50 other life coaches. So what makes you different? What are you adding to this that they can't do? Right. I mean, they
Okay.
wouldn't say that, point blank, but in some
Yeah.
sort, right? Like that's
Yeah.
what you're up against, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I see where you're coming from. At the same time,
Or is that a me objection and not a them objection?
yeah, just giving it at face value, I don't know if that's an objection. That's like they're trying to find a reason to buy from you, right? Where they're saying, hey, there's a lot of others that are out there. How are you different from everyone else? I don't know if that's an objection. I don't think that's an
Okay.
objection. That's
Okay.
like you giving them a reason to buy from you. Now, if they were to say, I mean, I like this other person better, right? Then that's an objection. You see?
Yeah. And that usually it goes back to that first thing, which is they're cheaper. They'll offer me a kickback or a discount or whatever. Right.
Right.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
and so
that's the guiding principle for them on that statement.
yeah, and a lot of times when people give you objections, it's masked. It's a masked objection to the real one.
Right.
Okay, so that's another technique we can use to find out. But okay, so what are some other ones?
I mean, the common one is always price is too high, right? Which we already covered. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
because
an
I
important one.
was gonna say the same thing. The price is too high. Like that's the first thing I started with. What else?
It's not being responsive. There we are.
This is not right for me, I guess. This isn't aligned with me or
Um,
I don't know.
okay.
Because I'm trying to think of
There's more. I mean, y'all thinking of three. There's like
Right.
there's hundreds that y'all get, right?
Well, now is not the right time.
time,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, timing is not correct. And you can say the market, you can say the economy, you can say, and
Yeah.
whatever, but it's all not the
Yeah.
right time.
It's funny that they say that, but they're still contacting you.
Right. Or somehow they're having this
Yeah.
real conversation with you, right? Yeah.
Right. So we are, a lot of times buying cycle objections are not the real thing. Okay, so not the right time. What else? Give me. I mean, we should be popping up objections here. Yeah, y'all been in in the business for a long time. Like there's a bunch of them.
Most of them is the price is not right because like you said, they're contacting us. So that's mostly what we get. It's like I could get it cheaper around the corner type of thing, or Turo, or but it's always the same thing. It's the price.
Mhm.
So I don't really have any other objections other than that in the car business. I'm trying to figure out objections for the investment side.
Right.
Um, so then I can add more, but it's more of like the fund is normal, a little longer than I was expecting. But we have reasons for that.
Okay.
That I can give them.
All right, I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah, help us out.
Yeah.
Okay. You get all of these. Okay. Need to talk to
My
my,
wife, my
yeah,
wife,
yeah,
spouse.
right. Um, need to talk to my CPA. I mean, it keeps going on and on, right? Now, no matter what objection that you get, there's a way to progress to the next level. Okay? And that is to align and to agree with them. Okay? So, for example, and let me just write some more here, okay? Because I'm trying to get to something here. So need to talk to my CPA. I found another option. Okay. The other company does blank better, right?
I have one. I have one for a
Yeah,
realtor.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I found somebody with more experience than you.
Yeah. Someone else with more experience. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. Can I have 2 more?
A family emergency. I don't know.
Family emergency.
Actually, as a realtor, that was I got that like 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why they dropped out in the middle of the transaction. Family emergency.
Yeah, that can be a tough one because maybe it's a family emergency, but it's a great way to just drop the deal when they have just, you know. Right.
Yep.
Only have 10 minutes. You've had people like that, right?
The dominance, yes. I don't have
Yeah.
time.
I only
Yeah.
have 10 minutes. Show me through this thing real quick.
Yep.
Oh man. You can slow them down. I mean, I've done it many times. All of a sudden 10 minutes it turns into 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So, everybody only has 10 minutes. All right. So we got all these objections, right? And like I said, there's several levels to this. I'm just making an introduction here, right? And just so you can get some type of, framework with the time that we have. And so the next subject, to really get into is to understand what type of objections that we have, right? You can have 1,000 different objections that really only fall into 4 categories. Okay. So let me name those categories here. One is the most common, the time or buying cycle objection. Okay. Number 2 is the money objection. Number 3 is we got time, by money, and then the product objection. And number 4 is a personality or personality clash objection, right? So here's the thing. You don't need to know 1,000 different ways to master these objections. You really only need to know 3 or 4 dialogues. See, simple is better, okay? I like to take everything and simplify things as much as possible. So let's go through these objections that you just gave me. Okay, now I found a discount or flat fee broker. Is that a time, money, product, or personality objection?
Money.
Money.
Sounds like a money. Could be number 4, but we'll just put No, let me that's a money. We can just say at face value, that's a money objection. Okay. Investment is too much time for an ROI.
Time.
Time and money, right?
I would put that as money
Okay.
because they're not saying that they don't want to buy from you right now. They're just talking about the return is too long, right? So when I say the 4 different types of objections, it's about what they want to do with you right now. Okay. There are a lot of others to choose from. A lot of other agents to choose from, right? Well, actually, remember, I said that's not really an objection. Not the right time.
Time.
Time. Okay, I'm going to put BC for buying cycle. Interest rate is too high.
Money.
Yes. Down payment is too high.
Money.
Money.
Right. It doesn't have the features that I'm looking for. You know, I want a 5-bedroom. This only has 4, right?
Product.
What is it?
Product.
Product. Payment's too high.
Money.
Money.
Need to talk to my spouse.
Time.
Okay. Need to talk to my CPA.
Time.
I found another option.
Product.
Product. The other company does X better.
Product.
Someone else, I found someone else with more experience.
I think product, maybe.
Yeah, I can put that under product or personality, right?
Personality, yeah.
I got a family emergency.
Time.
And I only have 10 minutes.
Time.
Okay. So, as you can see, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 money. Let's see, buying cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And usually I have a big list like 30. Okay. So that in this case is 5 buying cycle. And a product 1, 2, 3, 3 products. Okay. So in a usual case, when I do training, buying cycle is the number 1 objection that people get, right? Because most people are non-confrontational in nature. So they don't want to seem rude. So they'll say things like, I need to sleep on it. I got to think about it. I got to pray about it. I got to talk to my spouse. I need to research a little bit more. That's what you get the most. We kind of remember the money thing a lot, but that's what you get the most. But here's the thing. When you actually go through talking to them, there's, the buying cycle is usually a masked objection to the real thing. And then you'll see most likely it's a money or a product thing. Okay. So that kind of simplifies what type of objection you'll be facing, right? All right. So in our next session, I'll talk about how to, overcome the buying cycle objection, right? The money and the product, those are more simple. That's pretty much just aligning and agreeing with people. Okay. But I wanted to make sure that you guys understand that you need to align and to agree with people as you to build rapport in the midst of objections. at the end of the day, because everybody's coming to you with some type of wall being built by them, right? Due to other negative experiences that you had. Okay. All right. What questions do you have that I can follow up with after this training?
I'm glad you're doing this thing because I was here at the summit. You did this, and remember I told you repetitive because that's the way I learned. I need to repeat things because I didn't understand I think I was maybe a little tired, but I didn't understand fully this concept until today.
Yeah.
So now I understand it, and it's kind of like, oh, okay. Now I really get it. So I'm glad you did this again, because that's the way I learned. Also, my question is, my downfall is I connect and I emphasize. I'm really good at connecting and emphasizing. I think mirroring too, because I change a bit of how I speak to certain people.
Yeah.
Like I was speaking with somebody that's Italian, and he's very sometimes a little mafia type personality, but I can get I could change my personality depending on the person. It's not that I'm changing who I am; it's who I am, but just a little different. So I think I'm good at all the stuff, but the closing is my downfall. When I'm talking to a prospect, it's hard for me to ask. I get like a little shy. I shrink myself to ask. I can get everybody to the top. It's just the closing is my problem.
So that's the most important part.
Yeah.
So I think more than anything, that's just an internal fear that needs to be overcome. It's not like you don't have the question.
Yeah.
You can be totally confident and ask for it, and guess what? They respect it, actually.
Yeah.
Right? Are they going to be offended because you asked them for the sale? Right? So if they're not going to be offended, there's a there's probably a fear of rejection, right? So what do you fear more? Not knowing that you could have had the sale, or just knowing whether you got the sale or not?
Not knowing, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not knowing, by you not asking, you just don't know, right? And you're gonna go along in life regretting not knowing. Okay. So fear the regret instead.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Fear the regret.
Okay.
You have earned your right to ask. A lot of this might be because of I don't know, but a lot of this is usually because of upbringing. Don't talk to strangers. Don't ask for money. If you ask for something from them, it's not polite, right? It's like that's thinking in terms of world economy. Like if you're taking, money, that means they're going to have less. Okay. And you're going to have more. Now in the kingdom, that's different, right? There's no shortage of anything, even when you gain from others, right?
Great.
So we're fearing the wrong thing, right? Fear the regret, and be confident and go ahead and ask for the sale when it's time.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
I had this is more of the investment side, other than the car business. The car business, I'm pretty, good at it. I've been doing it for a while. And it's mostly my husband that does the closing. I'm the one that brings the clients or gets people. He normally does all the closings, but I am for the investment side, I get them excited, and I have already had yeses, but I never really asked the question. It was more of like, they have to come to me and like they're excited about it and they're like, I want to invest. So I've had people actually, I never even asked the question and they want to do it. So it's like, I just need to come out with it. Like, it's just like a thing that's like right there, but it's just a, and I know I'm there, I'm getting there, because that's it's kind of like it's do or die at this point,
Okay.
So
So when you ask, are you in person or virtual or over the phone? What is it?
I've done on over the phone. I've done I've I have a thing that I feel like I have to build rapport because it's a lot of money. I think that's what it is with me. It's like, oh, I have to build the rapport with the person, So I meet them in person, and then I have an upcoming, like you were talking yesterday, an upcoming meeting. So I meet them in person for the first time. I don't ask the first time that I meet them, but then I'm like, okay, let's set up a meeting, and then when we have the meeting, then we talk about it, and then that's when the ask comes in. But the I've only had two people that said yes, but they're pretty up there. They understand. I talk about the team. I get them excited about the product because I am excited about it, So it's just like they automatically want to invest.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
my problem is I need to start asking, like literally coming out with it.
Yeah, that's a good outcome when they want to do business with you. That means you've done the right things, right? But there are times where you're going to have to ask too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a window of opportunity for that, right? So, and when you process the payment, is that like a credit card thing, or is that something else? Is it a ACH, or what is it? How do you process their payment?
Well, I don't go through that I throw the ball to another teammate. Me personally, for my car business, I do process the payment. Like, hey, your credit card. We prefer cash just because we have so much of fraud in this business. So we prefer Zelle, cash, or credit card. We only take that from people that we have done repetitive business with, and we already build rapport with. So I do take credit card payments. I do Square, because I feel like I need to have the safest, even though they take the most. But I like to have safe processing, and
Okay.
but
So
yeah, that's for the car side. But for the fund, I know you know more about this than maybe I do. I send them to Phil, and then they process that themselves.
that's fine. That part I understand.
Yeah.
So this one I'm talking about is, when it comes to your car business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you can easily ask,
A
to close the
deposit.
deal.
A deposit.
Yeah.
Normally, we don't ask until the deal's here, until the day of. We ask for a deposit, kind of like hey, well, here, send us $500 so then we can hold the car.
Okay.
It's not like we ask for the whole amount front, because so much things, it's travel, so many things go wrong. So we don't want to be in charge of holding their money and they cancel, or it's at a later date, or so we just ask for a deposit, and if things go wrong,
Well, that's even easier.
yeah, it's quick and easy. Just send the deposit. We'll hold the car or the yacht or whatever, and if something goes wrong, we'll just send you back the deposit. No big deal.
Okay, so now let me ask you, is there anything against asking for the full, rate up front?
There's nothing against it, but my husband and I don't like to have the full rate, just in case, we don't want to I don't know. We if it's really like right around the corner, yes, we ask for it. Because if it's like 2 days, 3 days in, we'll just like, okay, just send over the money. We have the cars,
But
But sometimes they want to do, like, I have right now 100-foot yacht reserved for January. It's like so far out, and they're doing 2 Rolls Royces, so it's so far out that I don't feel comfortable taking their full rate, and they want a chef and all the stuff. So I'm working on all the stuff just to have like a hefty deposit, maybe like $1,000, $1,500 deposit. But it's such a big price range that I don't feel comfortable, because if something happens, maybe I don't have the car available. That's another thing. If one of the cars gets crashed, something happens to the yacht, or something happens on our end, we don't want to be like, oh, we have your money tied up here, you know. I don't know.
Oh, I
Maybe.
mean, in that case, you just give them a refund, right?
True.
Okay. So
Yeah.
here's why I'm saying that. Like when I do my business,
Mhm.
very, very rarely do I get a deposit.
Okay.
Okay. It's usually full. I go for the full, and then if they ask for a deposit, fine.
Mhm.
Right. And usually 99% of the time, when I offer services, it's prepaid, the full amount.
Okay.
You see, then it reduces a lot of headache that way,
Okay.
right? I don't know why Siri's doing that. It reduces a lot of headache of follow-up, right? And then when they see that you're okay with the deposit, oh, then you're okay with payments. And then it's a lot of follow-up, a lot of time.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you're to ask for the full amount up front, okay, what if they just say, okay, no problem. Fine, get the full amount, right? But the worst they can say is, well, how about I pay half? Right? Or what if I just put a deposit for a lower amount? All right, well, that's fine too. But I think, uh, I'm trying to get a good reason of why you guys are uncomfortable with that, right? And since I haven't heard a good reason, this is why I'm saying ask for the full amount, right? And so that way you have it prepaid. If something happens, something happens. You refund or prorate the refund. Worst case scenario, right? So think of you getting paid up front for everything. That to me, that solves a lot of headache for you guys. Like you have the freedom to get things in order and you have the cash. You see? Like when I did this event, 90, let's just say 95% was payment up front. Oh, okay. So now I'm able to, purchase the swag items. I'm able to, pay cash for, the excursions, all of that. But if I had said, hey, I need a deposit from everyone, do not give me the full amount, that would have been very difficult for me, right? To do everything timely. So,
So what if in that particular case, if you had X number of people that committed, and then last minute they said, "Hey, we just can't make it." Now you have sunken costs, right? You've pre-purchased on the prepayment, right?
yeah.
So is there a percentage that you say, "Man, be careful just in case," or like
Yeah.
how well, what would that scenario have been if, 4 or 5 people said, "Man, just last minute family emergency, something came up, yada yada.
Yeah.
Now what?"
Yeah. From my experience,
Yeah.
being in the business, the last minute cancellation is very rare. Okay. Out of the 12 people, no, 15, 12, 13 people, I had one person that canceled at the end, but I covered myself because from the beginning, I said there's no refunds, right? I cannot offer a refund and pre-purchase all this stuff, right? And be locked down to it and then expect a refund. You saw it in your invoices, said there's no refunds. So that means what? The people that invest into this thing, they're pretty certain that they know the risks. You see what I'm saying? Now, in Giselle's situation is different. I don't think that you can do something like no refunds because something, like crash can happen, etc., right? But in my world, I can do that. right? So it just depends on the industry that you're in, right? And so the person that didn't show up, I mean, he invested a 4-digit amount. I mean, he's not going to get a refund. And I had to eat up that cost, but hey, he paid for it, so it's not really a big deal to me. You see what I'm saying? So I would say be confident not only in asking for the sale, but be confident in asking for the full amount up front. Okay? Give me a typical, amount that's charged. Average.
On a car,
Yeah,
depending on, because it goes from $400 to 2,500 per
great.
day. So
All
it's
right.
it's a big jump.
Great. So,
The
Mr.
$700 a car, 3-day deal.
All right. So
Seven.
with taxes and everything, that can come up to $2,500, right?
I don't charge taxes.
Okay.
2,100. It's flat fee unless they are paying with card. We do charge
Right.
a fee because we're taking out.
Great. Let's just say $2,100 is the total, right? Mr. Customer, 3 days in this, whatever, give me a car, right?
We
Range Rover.
a Range Rover, a G-Wagon.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
3 days.
Maybach also around
Okay.
that part.
3 days in the Maybach that you want to be in, black with leather interior, brown interior with all the fixings and all that, right? You list the options, right? Make sure that you confirm. All right, so that's going to be at $700 a night, a day. That's going to be $2,100. All right. Now, are you going to be paying that in with Zelle or with a credit card? Right? I'm going to be paying with the credit card. Okay, with the credit card, I just have to add, about 3%, to that. And so now your payment, total payment is going to be $2,163, right? $2,165. Okay. And then you process the payment while you're on the phone, right? So $2,163. So you can just go to Zelle right now. Here's the my Zelle email address or phone number. Okay, process that. I just want to make sure that everything goes smoothly. All right, and you pause. Right? You don't say anything else until that payment is processed right there on the phone. Right? And then boom, then it's done. You got the complete payment up front. Now, by this time you built enough rapport, right? You got the car that they want, etc. Worst thing they could say is, "Oh, can I put down 50%?" That's something that we typically don't do, but I want to make sure that I help you out. You have a special night that you can enjoy. All right, I'll take 50% down now, and would you be able to pay the rest of the 50% in the next week or 2 weeks? You see, you're still trying to get that early,
Right.
right? So many ways to go about it, but what I'm saying is your number one objective is to get all the money up front. Okay. Otherwise, you're going to be chasing them. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
For payments, right? So let's create, a situation where you do less chasing and more money up front. That way you have the freedom to do what you need to do. And if you have to do some type of refund, well, no problem, because you got all this cash from multiple customers, right? If a problem happens, let's just say that's 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20. Well, you got cash from all 19 other customers, right? That gives you a lot more freedom and flexibility that way. Otherwise, it's just deal by deal that you're going.
Also, I wanted to add to that because it just gave me like you said, like you had a cancellation. last minute. I think when they are already committed fully, it's going to be less of no shows. You know,
Less of no-shows, correct.
we're going to have
Right,
less.
because
They're going to show
the
up. Yeah.
yeah, because the deal is done in their mind. They've already spent the money. See, if you're doing payments, they feel like they still have a way out, or I haven't invested that much. So yes, less cancellations. Okay. Um, there's so many positives that it would outweigh the negatives that you think is going to happen, but it's less likely. Okay.
Also,
So
I was thinking of showing, like how you said, no refunds. Like, yeah, I'll give you a refund because obviously I wouldn't have business because somewhere else they'll go, and I'll scare them. But I'm thinking of like if you have there's let's add a no show fee
right.
off the deposit or whatever. Like
Yep.
if you don't show, there'll be a fee for the no show, so we won't lose all our time and efforts and all the stuff, because that's a little frustrating when we have to refund everything and they don't show up and we did all the stuff, all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
no. You can't do that. Like for
Sure.
Yeah.
example, at the hotel, so if you sign a minimum number of rooms, after that, if you cancel any number of rooms, what they do is what they charge $25 per night per room. Okay, so there's something that they retain, and then after a while, there's no refund. So you got to put certain things in place so you will get less cancellations that way. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Reggie.
No, I was going to say the same thing. Just like hotels or cars, whenever you book online, it says, hey, if you prepay, then if you're going to cancel, you have to cancel within 24 hours
Yeah.
for some, you could put it this way, for a full refund, or for, 75%, 80% refund, but there is a cancellation fee tied to it, right? And
Yeah.
at some point, no refund at all, which is the day of, or 2 hours before, there's no refunds, at all, right? So that's a way you can couch that to still cover your tail before they ever, pick up a set of keys, right? So yeah.
Personally, I'm thinking 48 hours, no refund, right? Let me know 2 days in advance. They all do it. All the industries do this. They need to protect themselves. You can't be just working your tail off and then them getting a full refund, you know. Um, so I would put that in place. um, and get the full money up front. If it's a deposit, minimum 50%. Okay. You can be flexible if they ask for it, right? But I'm just trying to give you some parameters. Minimum 50% if a deposit is in place, right? Right. And then, but get the rest of the money in the next 7 to 14 days. Let them know that if the full payment is not upfront, given, then they have a chance of losing that reservation. Okay, so you'd still being flexible, but you want that money as soon as possible, right? You can do things like, uh, uh, hey, if you pay even earlier, you know, uh, maybe there's an incentive that you can offer. Whatever. I mean, there's so much that you can work with it. So
Yeah, I could do that. Like if you pay in full, you get a discount of 100 off or
something
whatever.
like that.
Save
Yeah.
something. 100%, we could do that.
Or a free upgrade, right?
Right.
So it doesn't show that doesn't look like you're discounting, but you're giving more value, something.
Right.
Right. So do you offer like any type of packages? Like okay.
Well, if
You can be
like
real creative.
like we do.
Valentine's package, sports package. You see what I'm saying? Like add-ons. Oh, Valentine's package. Okay, so that's or a date package. Well, okay, well that's like we get you flowers and champagne and all this, that's an extra $175. You see?
You know, it's funny that you
Chocolates.
said that
Yeah.
because we had a client that the one I told you about that he actually asked us. He had his car for his wife's birthday or something like that.
Yeah.
And he asked us for if we can put a card and some flowers. It's not something we normally do, but we did it for him. We're like, okay, that's no problem. We get it done, you know. But I wish I would have been the one that did it because it wasn't something that we pre-done in our head.
Yeah.
Because my husband just went to Publix, you know, and like, and I would have gone to like, I would have charged, you know, but I would have gotten like the more luxury flowers.
Get the luxury stuff and
Yeah.
then charge them for it, premium.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's you're selling luxury, right? So money is not an issue.
Mhm.
Charge premium,
Mhm.
have packages available. I mean, you can be as creative as you want to be on this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I have another client that, we've done the same, sports package, date package, security package where there's, what you call it, there's actually bodyguards and all that, right?
And
Um,
we could do that because my husband knows celebrity security.
right, right. So those
Yeah.
packages can be available on your website. They can just click it, add it to the cart. Boom, there you go, right? You can be very creative and add to your revenue that way, right? Maybe there's
And
technology package, you provide iPads and, who knows, right? I mean, like I said, you can be very creative with that, come up with a new package every week that you can just, add on.
I love that because nobody's doing that in our
Nobody's
industry.
doing it.
So that would make us stand out for sure.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But that's extra. Okay. So yeah.
Definitely. The people that are coming to get this are they want not to think of things like
right.
extra.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
they're like they want the ease of
Yeah.
everything.
Prom package, homecoming package, executive package, right? Oh, we'll come pick you up at your plane and take you to your yacht,
Mhm.
I mean, like I said, so many ideas you can get from packages that you can add on. So
Yeah, we do the private airport,
yeah.
you know, already. But we don't charge extra for it. We should
Oh,
probably. Yeah.
yeah.
It's just extra, it's just there, you know.
That's some serious money that you can charge there.
I remember the last one we did, it was like 5 or 6 cars, and I had to go personally, and my son had to go, and we had like extra people because it was like it was a big thing, and it was 2 hours we had. It was Chanel, like, hey, I'm jumping on a jet. We need 5 cars, and it's gonna be a 2
And you
hour.
didn't charge any extra on top of the
We
rental.
didn't charge any extra. We did make like 15 grand, you know, but it was nothing extra because we're free delivery because everybody else is free delivery. So
That's fine.
to the hangar, we showed up with all the cars and all the stuff. We did it. And it makes sense to do it for free because these VIP clients are it looks tacky to be like, I need and this happened to us last time with since we moved to Naples, we had a Porsche delivered to one of our old clients, and the guy's like, oh, the guy that's like, we didn't, and we're supposed to do this everything has to be pre-done, you know, and when the guy goes and delivers it, it was the owner to the Porsche that we never done business with him before, but the guy wanted that Porsche, so we found it. And it was a guy that like owns one Porsche and he drives his car on Turo and stuff like that. He's not professional at all. He's like, listen, I don't come out here for less than $100. Like basically like demanding a delivery fee. And I was like, oh no, we've done business with this guy for 5 years, never charged a delivery fee. And it just makes us look bad, you know. It looks like you're like penny pinching, you know.
Yeah. Well, as long as it's all built in.
Built in,
That's
yeah.
that's fine too.
Prepaid,
Right?
that's different.
Yeah.
And that's how you normally do it professionally. But yeah.
Yeah.
And now all the companies are now, because of the economy, they're not getting enough rentals. All of them are starting to charge delivery fees, which I understand.
Okay. Do you have anything like VIP membership?
No, and that's something that I want to add. I want to add memberships. I want to do like an executive package for memberships.
Right.
Like basically you come and you choose whatever you want from the fleet, and this is a monthly membership.
Yeah.
And it's for your company. I want to start going to boardrooms, and this has always been in my mind for a while. Like I need to go into boardrooms and do memberships with executives.
So
That's
you do VIP memberships. Do you offer them things that you don't offer to the public?
okay.
And then, and those memberships are constant, right? Like monthly or yearly, automated,
Mhm.
right? From their debit account, not credit card. Okay.
Okay.
Has to be their bank account. Okay. Um, when I say has to be, a lot of them is going to probably want miles and all that, but shoot for their bank account, right?
Okay.
So that way, it's once it's done, it's forgotten, right?
Right.
Credit cards, they could get a new number or whatever, but these days, even if you get a new number, you can still make it happen with the old number. So might not be as big of an issue. But anyway, those are things that you definitely want to pursue,
Yeah.
for additional income. And, especially with something that you do, a VIP membership with their own portal and all that is going to be highly beneficial for that customer and all that. So study companies like Ferrari, Apple, Amazon, Sephora, uh, all these companies that have these type of membership tiers. Uh, you know, those people get perks that everyone else doesn't, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay. So see what the perks are. Yeah, because I really want to narrow down um my business mostly to executives.
yeah,
And I want to cater to the executives. That's like basically why I rebranded and everything, what I did. And I did my research thanks to you helping me. I already had this on my mind, but it was like a confirmation when we first started doing the coaching with what is it called? The worksheets that the two worksheets that we had.
yeah,
And I started doing research
yeah,
and basically executives is going to be something like $1 billion in revenue. It's growing.
yeah,
Transportation for executives.
yeah,
So it was like like I already had this in my mind, but it was just like a confirmation on the niche, and like it keeps growing. That is going to be from, I think it was like from 2035 or something, like 10 years
yeah,
from now.
yeah,
Um, this is a business to be in because it's the growth
yeah,
is there.
yeah.
So I was just like, thank you for that. It was like confirmation
Oh
of
yeah,
what
for
is,
sure.
yeah.
And yesterday what we talked about as far as like the anytime thing. So what that is you could be on the phone with someone, right? Trying to
Right.
make a deal happen.
Right.
Well, like I could be there live with you.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh. Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
So so that was the offer that I made. So
Okay.
think about that and then just let me know. So I know I didn't mention that yesterday,
Mhm.
but I'm talking about like being there with you, on the phone or by text or whatever. So that way you get live coaching.
Right. Depending on the
Sure.
situation that I'm in.
Yeah.
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 'Cause I'm in separate situations all the time. So it's yeah.
Yeah. So this would be more like yeah, I'm there with you during the deal versus this, which is like,
Yeah.
any other
More
trip.
generalized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Appreciate that.
cool.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
no
for all
problem.
the ideas, guys. I'm like, okay.
Okay. What else? anything from anyone?
Hey, Matthew, quick question on the NLP part in the beginning. What are some good resources that you would recommend regarding that?
Yeah, so basically I was just like, you can literally Google
Okay,
neuro-linguistic programming, right?
yeah.
And there's plenty
So
of
there
great.
wasn't anything specific that you were leaning towards as far as content and follower.
There's books out there.
Yeah.
So this is just, so what I taught is just, from a general sense as far as it goes. Um, even just Googling it and reading 2 or 3 articles, I mean, you'll get what you need to get, out of it, as far as that goes. Maybe something close to that would be a book called No Can Do, KNOW, Can Do. But even that is an offshoot of NLP. So I don't know if that's basically about repetition, like what Giselle was talking about. Like you need to be able to hear the same information over and over again to really retain it. So that's what that is most about. But I don't necessarily have a particular book about NLP or
Okay.
anything. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, there's, YouTube videos on it and so on. Really, those are, it's all very good information from there. Yeah. Okay. What else? Anything else? Okay, very good. Well, it was great to have you all, and this will be recorded, so I'll be sending this out to the rest of the ambassadors team. All right. All right. Take care. God bless. Bye bye.
Thank you, Matthew. It was great.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, Reggie.